The church smelled of lilies and polished wood. Light filtered through stained glass windows, casting fractured colors across the pews. I sat near the back, hands folded, breathing slow, steady. A sea of faces surrounded me, smiling, expectant, oblivious. She stood at the altar in white, glowing under the chandeliers. My best friend, the man who once called me his brother, stood beside her, dressed in a tailored suit, his jaw tight with anticipation. The priest spoke. "If anyone here has any reason why these two should not be joined in holy matrimony, speak now or forever hold your peace." A heavy silence. A moment stretched too long. Then I stood up. Eyes turned toward me, confusion flickering through the crowd. My voice was calm, steady, but laced with something dangerous. "Before you say I do, there's something you need to know." She went white. He stiffened. The real show had just begun. Rewind 6 months. She was different. The little things came first: missed calls, texts left unanswered, late nights at work that stretched longer, excuses piling up like dead leaves. She laughed less, touched me less. When I kissed her, she pulled away a second too soon. I wanted to believe it was nothing. But then there was him. Nathan. My best friend since college. He had always been there: holidays, late night drinks, road trips. We were inseparable, brothers in everything except blood. Then I started noticing the way her eyes lingered on him when she thought I wasn't watching. The way he laughed a little too hard at her jokes. The texts he sent late at night, screen tilted just enough that I couldn't see. It was paranoia. It had to be. Until the night I found the earring. A delicate silver loop glinting under my couch. Not hers. Not mine. A sick feeling coiled in my gut. I clenched it down, ignored the whispers in my head. But the doubt festered. Grew. Then came the hotel receipt. A crumpled paper in the pocket of her coat. A one-night stay. Room for two. And finally, the picture. A friend sent it to me, unsure if they should. A blurry shot taken at a CAF across town. Them. Hands intertwined across the table. Leaning close. Laughing. Like I never existed. My hands trembled as I stared at the screen. The world tilted, my stomach hollowing out. It was real. I had lost her. And worse, he had taken her. I didn't confront them. Not yet. Instead, I smiled. Waited. Let them think I was blind. I needed time. Because revenge is best served cold. The next few months, I played my part. I kissed her goodnight, told her I loved her, let her lie to my face. I shook his hand, laughed at his jokes, let him believe he had one. I dug deeper. Found their messages hidden beneath fake names in her phone. Sweet words, inside jokes. Plans for a future where I didn't exist. I watched. I listened. Then, the engagement announcement. A grand dinner, all our friends gathered. She slipped the ring onto her finger, beaming, glowing. Nathan stood beside her, hand possessive on her waist. They looked so happy. I raised my glass, smiling. Toasted to their love. Watched her eyes flicker with guilt. Watched him avoid my gaze. And I decided that their wedding day would be my stage. The air was thick with expectation. I could hear whispers, the rustling of fabric, the faint scent of roses and champagne. Nathan shifted at the altar, adjusting his cufflinks, jaw clenched. He hadn't looked at me once. She stood beside him, radiant. But beneath the makeup, the flawless dress, I saw the tension in her shoulders, the way she swallowed hard. She knew. And she was praying I would stay silent. If anyone here has any reason why these two should not be joined in holy matrimony, speak now or forever hold your peace. I stood. Gasps rippled through the room. Her mother clutched her pearls. Nathan's grip tightened around her fingers. I let the silence stretch, feeding the anticipation. Then I spoke. Julia, before you say I do, tell them. Tell them how long you've been lying. Tell them how many nights you spent in his bed while you came home to me. Her lips parted, no sound escaping. Or should I? I turned to the crowd, voice sharp, unwavering. They didn't just meet. This didn't just happen. For the past year, while she was with me, she was with him. My best friend. A stunned hush. And the best part? I let out a cold laugh. They thought I didn't know. Thought I was stupid. But I knew. And I let them dig their own graves. Nathan finally spoke, voice a low growl. You need to leave. I stepped closer, my voice dropping to a whisper only they could hear. Did you really think I'd let you have a perfect day? After what you did? Julia's hands trembled. Tears welled in her eyes, but I felt nothing. I loved you, I said. And you threw it away for him. Now, everyone knows what you really are. Then I turned, walking down the aisle as murmurs erupted behind me. Before I reached the doors, I glanced back. She was crying. Nathan's hands were clenched into fists. And the perfect wedding they had dreamed of lay in ruins. I never saw them again. Word spread fast. Guests talked. Families whispered. The wedding was called off. Nathan left town. Julia moved away. I heard she tried to reach out once, but I never answered. I wasn't the same man anymore. Betrayal changes you. Breaks something inside. But it also sharpens you. I wasn't bitter. I wasn't broken. I was free. And as I walked away from the wreckage of our past, for the first time in a long time, I smiled. Because I had one.